Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, this news is making the rounds of all of the news networks and all of the media that Senator Tim Scott has dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. I think this is a relief for many Black Americans, whether you are a Republican or a Democrat or whatever your political affiliation is. He is an American descendant of slavery, and it was painful watching him trying to run for president. I just did a video about him yesterday, showing up at the last Republican debate with this blonde-haired woman, giving the impression that this was some longtime girlfriend that he had been keeping protected. And the question was, from what and from whom? And that was his first problem. He wasn't married. America has not had but one president who served in office without being married. That was James Buchanan, 15th President of the United States from 1857 to 1861. From then on, the president had to have a wife and preferably some children. Now, when you know you're going to run for president, you know that 2 or 3 years before you make that decision, or you ought to. He has had plenty of time to reconcile that. The Republican Party promotes itself as the party of family values. A wife is a very important part of a family. Furthermore, America promotes women. Women are a big business in the United States of America. If you are going to be the president of the United States, a wife is an important accessory. Ever since John F. Kennedy showed up at the White House with his wife Jackie in all of her beautiful clothes and her pillbox hat and her sophisticated manners, America has been enamored of first ladies. American women want to see themselves reflected in the first lady. The fashion industry wants a wife. The entertainment industry wants a wife. Not to mention the news media. They want to write about the wife, where she went to school, what she believes in, what is her family background. A wife can do a president or a presidential candidate a lot of good. Shout out to Michelle Obama. So Americans like for their presidents to have a wife. And for somebody who is as dull and uninteresting as Tim Scott, he would definitely need to have a wife, and not a controversial wife like a white woman. He would need a black wife. So that's his first problem. No self-awareness and no awareness of how American politics are run. You would just think that he would know that the black man from South Carolina wouldn't be the one to come up to be the president without a wife. He may mistakenly think that because he's a senator, it wouldn't matter. But how he got to be the senator is something to look at too. He did not run for senator from South Carolina at the very beginning. Nikki Haley appointed him to replace Jim DeMint when he went off to do some other conservative damage in 2013. And I will say this about Nikki Haley, and I say it grudgingly, but I will give her credit. Nikki Haley made some bold moves when she was the governor of South Carolina. She was one that took down that Confederate flag, and she was the one that appointed Tim Scott senator from South Carolina, because they hadn't had a black senator ever, as far as I know, because I don't even think they had a black senator back during Reconstruction. So she's kind of bold, and she even called that Ramaswamy guy scum in the last debate. So Nikki Haley really is somebody to watch. So Tim Scott didn't run initially. He was appointed. And then as the incumbent, he has run. And the people of South Carolina have reelected him because he's harmless. He's doing what the Republicans want him to do. So they continue to vote for him because he's no threat to anything. He's not going to do anything like advocate for reparations or push any kind of diversity or affirmative action agenda. He's not going to do anything like that. So they don't mind him being the senator from South Carolina. He's the good Negro, so they don't have a problem with him. But when it comes to being the president, that's something entirely different. Tim Scott was not able to distinguish himself from the other Republicans. If he was really smart, he would have picked an issue like illegal immigration, something that black people and white people are against. He would have taken that issue and tried to somehow bring these two factions together. But he didn't do that. He was trying to say the same thing that those conservative white people were saying. So what we can say is he lacks political savvy. A politically savvy person can take an issue and make it into a much bigger deal than it really is. President Obama had the healthcare thing, and he worked that to death. But that's what he stood for, and that's what he believed in, and he stuck with it even after he got in office. And he got it passed. It dragged him down, but he got it passed. But that's what he believed in. And a lot of people agreed with him because a lot of people did not have health care when he was running for president. So he was able to gain a lot of support from Republicans because in 2008, a lot of them did not have health care. So I will end the video with this. I really don't think there's any help for people like Tim Scott because they don't have courage. He lacks courage. You are a black man from the old South. You know all of the problems of the country. It doesn't mean that he has to get out there and advocate just for black people. But every issue that touches black people in this country also touches somebody else. There are white people, there are Hispanic people, increasingly there are immigrants who came here legally, there are Asian people. They have the same issues we have. The fact that he's not politically savvy enough to come up with something where he could bring everybody in and help everybody, including his own people, that says to me that he is somebody who is just there. And he will stay there as long as he toes the party line. But I don't think there's any help for him because a white Republican can get elected president without a lot of help from black Americans. But I doubt that a black Republican can get elected without a certain amount of black support. And I still can't get over the fact that he had the nerve to say that black people were coming back to the Republican Party. And whereas it is true that the Republicans are getting more support from black people than they have gotten in the past, it has nothing to do with him. He shows up as a black man in the United States Senate, but a black man of no real use to black people. And maybe that's all he wants, is to show up as a senator, as a black, said to be one of the black senators. But at least Cory Booker and Raphael Warnock talk the talk, but Tim Scott can't even talk the talk because he really is bought and paid for. And that's very unfortunate. And for that reason, I cannot be sad that his presidential campaign didn't go any farther than it did. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.